Welcome to the Stickers on the Mic podcast, brought to you by StickerGiant.com, where we talk with our customers about how they started their business, how they're marketing their brand, and how they're growing their company. Without further ado, it's time for the Stickers on the Mic podcast from Sticker Giant. Let's get on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stickers on the Mic here, end of October, Halloween weekend. Very excited to be dialing in Amber and Andrew from Fort Myers, Florida, and the Cattyshack Cafe. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
All right, let's just get right into it. Cattyshack Cafe, where does this come from?
Well, Cattyshack Cafe, we're Southwest Florida's first cat cafe located in Fort Myers, Florida. For those that aren't familiar with a cat cafe, and I totally understand if you're not, picture a traditional cafe when you walk in, full espresso bar, sandwiches, pastries, beer, and wine. You can get something to eat, something to drink, hang out. And then we got a big glass wall that's looking into a cat lounge filled with adoptable cats and kittens in partnership with our local Humane Society. You can always get something to eat and watch the cats from the glass. And then if you want to engage with the cats, we work on a reservation system. We get a lot of people in the cat lounge every day. And the one thing all the cats have in common is they're all available for adoption.
So we say you can come in, get a glass of wine, drink beer, eat a bagel, pet a cat. If you fall in love, you can adopt them and take them home. Otherwise, you come another day, drink another beer, pet another cat, and just have fun.
That's wild. When did you start this?
So we opened our doors June 18th of 2020, right in the middle of all of the fun. But we spent about 2 years prior to that in our marketing development phase, where we traveled around to over 50 other cat cafes. 50? 20. Where did I get 50? Oh, 5 states, 20 cat cafes.
There you go.
And took what we liked and didn't like about all of the other ones and put it into ours. So we like to think we're the superior version. So there are other cat cafes in the U.S. The first one started in California in 2014. But they're still very few and far between. And the business model itself is not standardized. So some places just have a room full of cats and maybe a vending machine in the corner. And then you have ours with the full coffee, espresso, beer, and wine, standalone cafe included.
Right. It's like a restaurant, but then you also have, you happen to have cats, although they are obviously the feature, the marquee. So the Matt Cat Roans. I'm looking at the menu, folks. Anyway, so talk a little bit about like creating a brick and mortar. You said you spent 2 years doing it. So that puts you at like 18 and 19, 2018, 2019. And then you're like, sweet, good. We got the space, we got the concept. And then where were you in the stage of getting the store open before COVID hit and, basically in March of 2020?
Yeah, we definitely thought we would be open sooner, but finding a location was hassle number one. With it being a unique business concept, there was a lot of hesitation. So all of that was happening before COVID, thank goodness. So we found the spot, but then once we started our construction build out, we ran into all kinds of delays because of the delays related to COVID. And then when we were finally ready to open our doors in June, in Florida, things were a little more relaxed, which kind of, helped us. But we actually think COVID might have benefited us in our first year because we have that positive mission and people were looking for something for companionship and some positive way to give back. So we actually just completed our 1,000th adoption about 2 weeks ago. So just over a year of being open, we're averaging about 2 adoptions a day. Which is radically redefining the adoption process in our area and helping get cats out of the kill shelters. Cats who may not have ever had a chance are actually getting exposure and getting adopted, which we love being part of.
So you have no shortage of cats, though.
If we run out of cats, we've done an amazing job. There's no way, though, we'll run out of cats.
They're just everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's wild. Was like you made me think of something you said it was kind of helpful for you, but how, like you said, also it's unique. I'm curious, how do you like do the zoning or how do you like operate essentially like an animal clinic or whatever and a restaurant. Those seem like the kinds of things that don't really mix very well.
We'll have to charge you $200 an hour to give you the consultation that you seek for this. Just kidding. But that is a question that we do get a lot. And it does vary from county to county, state to state. Because the cafe and the cats are completely separated by not only a wall of windows, but also a double door vestibule system and a separate HVAC system with pressurized air, which is an additional step that we chose to take. It wasn't required, but we felt that that was important. That's how the food and the cats in the same place is allowed.
No big deal. Yeah. It's not a thing at all. You just navigated that to start. And it sounds like you put all your ducks in a row. That's pretty cool.
We had to do a lot of educating.
I was about to say you learned a lot.
We learned a lot. And then we educated those in our community. We started way before we opened, speaking with our county commissioners and doing public events where people could learn more about us and really get an understanding, because as soon as you say cats and coffee in one place, they think there's going to be a whisker on top of their macaroon. So
I mean, that actually isn't what I thought necessarily. I just think of it from like the build out perspective and just like business, development side. You have to budget for that. It shouldn't be a surprise. And also you want to have a straight answer for people when you're marketing it. Right. A year into it, how, you got the store, right? Are people like rocking your gear?
Well, yeah. Shirts, stickers, obviously.
Masks have been huge.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, that's definitely a part that we have been able to be creative with. Our name, Cattyshack, is a play off the movie from the 80s, which is a golf-themed movie. So we do have a golf theme in the store with a little putting green and a cat-sized golf cart and golf bags that have been retrofitted for the cats to climb into. So we've had a lot of fun with our merchandise, our t-shirts, our stickers sell really well. We also have, custom cat toys and mugs and cups, all that kind of thing. Our brand has kind of become synonymous with fun and creative. And we like that. We're fun, creative people. And so we like to find ways to really use that as an outlet and use it towards our benefit in the business.
Yeah, being creative is the greatest thing. And that's why I like talking to people like you. What, before you started doing this, Andrew and Amber, take a sec each to address this. Like, what did you have in your background that, I mean, obviously you liked cats, but, what was the nudge to go all in on this?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people say, oh, well, you must have run a cafe before, a restaurant or something. And the answer to that is not at all. My previous career was as a professional poker player. I did that for about 10 years. It was a cool life, a little out of control. It was way fun. But my epiphany at the end of each day was, what good am I doing for the world? I'm just kind of like taking from people. And so there was something that was missing from it. So I knew I wanted to create win-win transactions instead of having to take from someone to win. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially the foundation of a business. You're creating win-win situations for people. And so I knew I wanted to start a business. I knew there had to be some sort of strong social mission. I wanted to combine it with animals because animals are just the absolute best. You want to enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
We landed on the idea of a cat cafe, and it was a golden idea for us, and we just never turned back.
Yeah, and as his fiance, I can say, I call him Mr. Save the World, and I'm Mrs. Pay the Bills. So he has the, go out and help, and I have the let's figure out how to make logistics work. And so when you put the two together, I've actually worked in higher ed for about 15 years at the college level. But together, we've just kind of been figuring it out, the marketing piece, running two separate businesses at the same time, basically. We have really strong partnerships within our community, which is very important to us to support local businesses. We are partnered with our local Humane Society, which is where all the cats come through. So it was really important to us to not just have an impact in our tiny little area, but far reaching and long lasting. And we feel like, having only been open a little over a year, we do feel like we're on track to really do that.
Is there actually like a business side of the cats? I mean, obviously the adoption process and all that, but do you make money off of that, I guess?
I mean, during the adoption process, we have all sorts of things that you can purchase. Anything from our apparel to up here is a hat.
Sure.
But the guests do pay an entry fee to interact
There you go.
with the cats.
Oh.
So we chose to donate 100% of all the adoption fees back to our rescue agency so that they can continue doing what they're doing in our community. And guests pay $15 for 50 minutes of interaction. And that's how we're able to support all the food and litter and medicine and beds and, you know, all the fun things for the cats. Whereas the cafe is kind of any purchases made in the cafe are sustaining the cafe and helping a little bit.
Yeah, paying their rent or whatever, you know.
Keeping the lights on.
Yeah, keeping the lights on and getting more inventory and marketing that thing. You know, there's they're the same thing, but they very much are different kind of operations.
Logistics wise, I mean, we receive deliveries of new cats about 3 times a week. So while we hate to refer to them in terms of like supply and demand, I mean, we do receive a delivery truck of cats multiple times a week.
How many cats are on this truck?
Yeah, well, we keep between 20 and 25 at any time. So as some leave, some more come, and we've just been cycling that way since we opened.
That's amazing. And you look like you got some good sponsors, and you were saying you have some fun with your brand voice. You've got the VIP, the very important person. Yeah, right? It's absurdity. Completely absurd. I love it. So, you sounds like things are clicking, and I've talked to a lot of people who kind of have, toughed it out in the past year. It sounds like you're thriving a little bit, which is great. What are you thinking? What's next?
Well, we've been expanding our special events lately. We do cat yoga, trivia night with cats, movie night with cats. We're about to do a comedy night with cats, which hasn't been officially announced yet. So we're going in that direction. We're getting very interested in finding other ways that we can give back to the community, whether it's through contributing a percentage of our sales. But I don't know, we want to expand our brand. We just haven't decided if that's in the form of another physical location or perhaps some accessories or, pet related products. We've got some momentum and we want to keep that going. So,
yeah, and it looks like you're hiring too. Talk a little bit about the partnership with Florida Gulf Coast University or however that kind of functions with what you do.
Well, so when I knew I wanted to start a business, I didn't have a college degree, and I thought it just made sense. I should go to the school. I was just right down the road and get a business degree. I just thought, why not get all the help I can possibly get? So by the time I graduated, I thought I was probably going to go open a sports bar or something that gave a percentage of its proceeds back to some sort of charity. And then, just learning about the process of opening a business like that through the school, they kind of guided me into a different direction. Right after I graduated, I was excited to be out of there. And then I just went right back. I went and hung out there. They have a school of entrepreneurship. And I would just hang out there all the time. And I had some ideas of which business I wanted to do. They really gave me the motivation to go ahead and do the Cat Cafe one, because that had every check mark of what we wanted to do. And I mean, they guided me on so many ways on just starting the LLC to doing paperwork, to getting legal stuff together, introduced me to the right people in the city that could guide me on what parts of town we can open it in. And I mean, they just played a huge role in helping one of their alumni get a business off the ground.
Yeah, we have a really great program at that university. They have what is similar to Shark Tank, where you can go and present your idea to a bunch of investors who either can invest or give feedback. So we learned a lot through that. We were the first brick and mortar attempt to go through the program, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot that even to them was unknown in terms of helping us figure all of that out. But it was just nice to have that foundation and someone to help us help ourselves.
Nice. Yeah. Is that the runway program that you talked about on the website? That's very cool. Yeah.
We got a few more confused looks than we did dollars, but it was still helpful because we learned what we needed to learn to help others understand the concept. But
yeah, it was all validation along the way.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Someone not understanding what you're doing doesn't mean you're not onto something. It means they might not understand anything, right?
Well, that's probably been one of the biggest things to us that just kind of make us smile internally when we used to be out and about in public and, we're always wearing our merchandise or handing out stickers or whatever it is. And we would say, have you ever heard of the Cat Cafe? And people are like, oh, what? And now a year later, we go out and either our stickers are already on people's cars or we mention it and they're like, oh my gosh, I love that place. And so we find ourselves having to explain it even less and less and less, which is how we know that it's working.
Nice. Well, this is all very fun and I'm glad that it's working, So we appreciate you. Where can folks, other than like coming down to Fort Myers, where can folks engage with you and what you all are trying to do, on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a really fun following on TikTok where we do good morning and good night videos every day and lots
Cat
of
talk.
videos in between. They get very excited when Andrew goes in for the first time every morning and he goes around and talks to every one of them. And they all have cute little bow ties and name tags. So you get to learn the cats' personalities. And then on Facebook and Instagram, we post multiple times every day. We do live videos on the days when we get quote unquote deliveries of cats. So you get to see the unboxing of the cats.
I love unboxing, but that's not what it means. You're so funny.
So that's when you get to see for the first time. In fact, that's when we get to see for the first time, whether it's an adult or a kitten or orange or black or the funny names that come through there. That's most of what has brought people into our social media. We have cats named Traffic Cone and Twig and what's some of the other Budweiser. I mean, we get some pretty funny named cats.
They have their own names.
Yeah, they come pre-named.
Okay.
We get to try to fit it on their name.
Do cats really respond to their names though?
Absolutely.
They do? Okay.
Yes.
I'm not a cat person. I'm not really a dog person. I have 3 little kids and I got enough with the 3 of them right now. But we had cats when I was really, really little. My parents got rid of them because they just didn't like me. So I don't know if it's that I don't like them. I think that they didn't like me because I was the baby, but that was 40-some years ago. But in the meantime, cat talk is something you're having fun with. I can tell just by looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of the major benefits of the Cat Cafe business model is that we don't have any kennels. There's no cages. The cats have over 1,000 square feet of free roaming space on multiple levels. There's giant palm trees they can climb. There's things they can get in and under. So when you come in to interact with the cats for that 50-minute time period, you really get to see their true personality. They're not scared and skittish because you've just taken them out of a kennel. There's not dark barking dogs in the next room. We're dog lovers, but
but like those are not literally they're cats and dogs, you know what I mean? And like you set up just looking on Instagram and like it's calm and it's chill and it's all for them, right? Like it probably helps their like psychology and their, I guess, mental health, but like, you know 100%. What I mean?
Yeah. Well, and we get people who come in and say, well, I have a baby at home or I have a dog at home. I need a cat that's going to do well with that. And because we're around them and we see how they interact, we're able to say this cat would do well in that environment. This cat wouldn't. So it makes a better cat to human match, which then relates to less returns in the future, which in the animal adoption world, unfortunately, is an issue.
Yeah,
they get home and then they bring them back.
I was wondering, like, how much of a revolving door do you see?
So much less than your standard adoption process.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. That's probably great for the cats and the people. People went crazy on cats and dogs during COVID, right? I mean, that need for that, like you said, companionship was probably really helpful for you.
For sure. And just something fun to do, something safe. I mean, that 50-minute reservation allows us 10 minutes between every group to re-sanitize, clean, and get the room ready. So it's a safe environment. We limit the number of people every hour. All of our staff and volunteers wear masks. So even during that time of uncertainty, it was a place where people felt comfortable coming, whether they were just coming into the cafe to have coffee or whether they were spending an hour in the room interacting with the cats.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about it too. So the fee is just to go in the room past the glass, but you could just I come with my laptop, do my work, and watch these cats.
People do that all the time.
People like to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've seen
a lot. Drop a tip for the cats at all?
Yeah.
If you want, yeah.
I mean, not that they're performers, but like
some of them are.
Oh, really? Like
they'll entertain you.
We have the big palm trees and everything for them to run up and jump on, and I mean they're full entertainment.
We also have cat TV on the big screen, and so you'll see the cats up trying to catch the birds or the squirrels or whatever it is through the TV. But yeah, we've seen it's a great first date place. Actually, we've seen the same guy have a couple of different first dates there over our time. But if you're an animal lover, and that's important to you, then it's a great place to come. And if there's nothing to talk about, you can make fun of the cat with, one ear, whatever the situation is.
That's so funny. People go on dates there. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's great. And you, of course, so real quick, other than like super punny names of the menu, talk a little bit about like the development overall of how you created the food service side of this cafe. Like what makes it different than any other than the cats, of course, but like, what are the signature things that you find that, you know, you're really connecting, customers are connecting with? Because I mean, I love food is great, right? And if you get a thing that works for people, whether it's their favorite coffee drink that they're willing to spend $5 or $6 on, right? That stuff's not cheap, or whatever. How have you kind of developed that side of it?
We've been super lucky. We hired a wonderful general manager who is very aware of the coffee world and has been in the coffee industry for many years. We also are partnered with a local coffee roasting company. So they locally roast all of the coffee. We get it fresh every week, multiple times a week sometimes. So we actually have very good coffee, which surprises people when they come in. All of our menu items are catified, like you mentioned, but we're constantly changing and adding new things. We have drink specials that rotate pretty much every week and are
Meow Cha-Cha?
Yep. At Purge.
I pronounced that wrong.
We have meow mosas in the morning, yoga. We really do try to cater to the masses. You know, even if you don't like cats, it's still an environment that you would be comfortable coming in because either you like golf, you like supporting local businesses, you like coffee. You know, it's definitely not it's not exclusive to non-cat people, which was important to us. Yeah.
I mean, people need to eat, and if the Wi-Fi is any good, that's all. You know, some people.
We have excellent.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Wi-Fi and coffee, and you know, a couple hours later, I might still be there.
We're near the university, so we're able to do study packages and discounts for the students.
Airport is across the street too. We're very close to there, so we'll get people that are waiting. Their flight's going to be in a couple hours, so they come hang out at the Cat Cafe, get something to drink.
Have a few pets. Do you have like a putting competition or anything, or like do you have the cats engage in that?
Putting is surprisingly very difficult in there. As long as one of the cats sees what you're doing,
that's what I mean.
That ball, you're not going to get that ball in the hole. They're going to run away with it.
They love it.
That's hilarious. Gosh, we've covered a lot of ground. Very cool story. Good. Obviously, you saw a market. When you were doing that, speaking of the market and doing the research, you went to 5 states and 20 different cafes. What states, like, who else is really doing this?
Almost every state has a cat cafe. Would you say every state? Of varying degrees of excellence, we would say. But we went to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. There's a couple of others in Florida, all about 3 or more hours away. So we kind of stayed in this. We've been to Minnesota. What other state? Anyway, up the East Coast for the most part.
South Carolina, North Carolina.
We took one big trip and did
New York.
A bunch of them all in one day. But like I said, they're all very different in terms of, you know, some of them are their own rescues. They're not partnered with a rescue agency. So they're handling all those aspects. Some of them don't do adoptions on site at all. Some of them don't have a cafe at all. So I would say we're the cat's meow when you compare us to other cat cafes.
Nice. That's fantastic. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Thanks for your, your passion and, your creativity. It's great.
When are you coming down?
As soon as humanly possible.
Oh, see what you did there.
Do this all day. Tip your felines. Hey, so you guys, seriously, best of luck. I do love also that piece, Andrew, when you said, I do teach at the college level, higher ed. So like, it's just cool to see you like say, I should do this and go try this. And then you followed through on it. Right. And then you're able to still like, you all are hiring people there, and then they're featuring you. So like really closing it off and being an engaged student and trying to like learn, and then obviously put something to life and create is pretty, I think, admirable as well. So
especially as a non-traditional student too. I mean, going back in your 30s is even harder these days. And so that was a huge accomplishment. It's hard to juggle. So like that, I appreciate that commitment. And now you guys are just having some fun. I can just see from your videos and your branding and, it's pretty rad. So everybody out there in Podland, Cattyshackcafe.com. Okay. Fort Myers, Florida, if you all find yourselves down there, and otherwise find them all over Cat Talk, and you can find them at their handles, which are Cattyshack Cafe, pretty much on all the platforms. So Andrew and Amber, thank you for your time. Have a great Halloween. Say hi to all those cats. Are they dressing up for anything? Yeah, we have a few surprises.
You got some costumes for the cats?
Mm-hmm. We do.
That's awesome. Well, we say on the show every time, friends, we say every sticker has a story. Today's sticker, there is a cat in a hammock under a palm tree, and it represents this cat cafe in Fort Myers, Florida. And we will see you all next time, and we'll be keeping tabs as you all grow. So best of luck.
Great. Thank you so much.
Andrew, thank you.
You will.
That wraps up this episode of Stickers on the Mic, brought to you by StickerGiant.com. You can download us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcatcher. Thanks again for listening to Stickers on the Mic. We'll see you next time.